It is 10 o'clock this 20th night of July 2019. My name is Wadilo Mark Arnold, and on sign language we'll be joined by Elizabeth Nakakoni. Welcome to News Tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The aviation sector says it needs support. Mbarara LCs restoring River Ruizi. On international scene, UK warns Iran over its seized oil tanker. And finally in sports, the She Cranes to play Zimbabwe for position 7 or 8. Welcome to News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. In our top story tonight, President Yoweri Museveni has assured the people of Greater Mubende area in central Uganda that government will help them to resolve rampant land disputes in their area, saying that what the landlords are currently doing is causing evictions and it is illegal. The president was speaking during the meeting of the Greater Mubende leaders at St. Peter's Technical School in Kyaterekera sub-county in Mubende municipality. The districts that form Greater Mubende include Chiboga, Chankwanzi, Kasanda, Mitiana and Mubende. President Museveni is currently on a countrywide tour to sensitize leaders on how to help their people fight poverty through modern farming. Regarding wealth creation and job creation, President Museveni pointed out the lack of prioritization and extravagance that are some of the factors that impede development in Uganda. He said that the NRM has achieved 62% of its manifesto. However, he added that a big number of Ugandans still practice subsistence farming, which he said still remains a big challenge for people to meet modern demands. He emphasized that the need for people of Uganda to focus on enterprise selection, adding that those with small land holdings should concentrate on intensive farming like growing fruits, poultry and piggery activities, among others, to increase household incomes. He also appealed to the people to desist from wetland destruction by cultivating in them, but use their periphery for fish farming. The president advised people of Greater Mubende in particular to stop the practice of family property fragmentation through archaic inheritance rights. He advised that family members should instead form companies where they get shares. On development, President Museveni noted that the people of Mubende are to witness the building of the road network in the area and cited Kakumiro-Kagadi Road that is under construction. He added that Masindi Chiguma and Kakumiro-Buhimba roads will be bituminized. On their part, Greater Mubende leaders, in their resolution that was read out by the NRM chairperson of Mubende, Honorable Major Kakoza Joseph, and seconded by all the NRM chairpersons of Greater Mubende, endorsed President Museveni as NRM sole candidate for 2021 elections.
There are 4 legal tenants. The first one is the one who was put there by the landlord or his agent. That one is there legally. The second category is somebody who was not put there by the landlord, but was on that Chibanja before 1883 or before, without knowing that that land belonged to somebody else.
Yes, oli kutaka eryo bibantu nga wali kutaka nga 1983 wali kutaka eryo nga wali genda ko tuwamanya nanyinyo nenga waliriko babwe platform ziteke so nawe otwali biteke oli kutwala nti oliko mu mateeka mutakutaka eri.
The third person is the one who inherited from these two.
Omulala owokusatira atwalibwa nga etteeka likuga nti olina ekibanja oyinza nga wasika ku muntu gwe baawa oba omusiki gwe yawa oba wasikira ku muntu eyali ku kibanja ekyo nga 1993 tegunnaba omwaka ogutegunnaba so mubanga wasika nawe oliko mu mateeka ku kibanja ekyo.
The fourth category is the one who bought from the three.
Kadate owokuna era naye etteeka bw'olitwala ng'ekibanja kiba kyo ddala oteeka kuba nga naawe bayita mubali nga wagula omu ku bali abasatu eiga wagula ku gwe yasika oba wagula ku gwe baalwa so naawe etteeka likutwala nti ettaka ekibanja ekyo kikyo.
So there is no way somebody can evict you or reduce your kibanja by force. There is no legal way.
President Museveni addressing his people. Now in more news, the Golden Jubilee festivities of the Symposium of Episcopal Conferences of Africa and Madagascar begin tomorrow in Kampala. An estimated 400 delegates are expected to attend the meeting that begins with a mass at Rubaga Cathedral. Uganda was chosen to hold SICAM, which takes place every 3 years during a meeting in Angola in 2016. The celebrations will run under the theme Church Family of God in Africa, Celebrate Your Jubilee, Proclaim Jesus Christ, Your Savior.
Many of the delegates have arrived, including some cardinals from the Vatican. Yes, and tomorrow is the official opening. Okay. The official opening of the celebration, not the celebration, but the plenary and the conclusion of the celebrations of the Golden Jubilee. Yeah. They were launched last year. The mass is starting at 10 in the morning tomorrow at Rubaga Cathedral. Yeah, and after that mass, we shall go to Munyonyo for the opening ceremony. The opening has two parts. There is the mass at Rubaga at 10, then the second part of the opening is at Munyonyo. And then the 28th, which is a Sunday, next Sunday, that is the closing mass at Munyonyo, actually at Namugongo. And then on 29th, which is a Monday, there will be another ceremony in Munyonyo Church. They are going to concentrate.
We look forward to those deliberations tomorrow. Now, in other news, the Kajansi Flying School will start issuing commercial licenses for pilot. The school, which has been renamed Pangai Academy, has previously been issuing private pilot licenses. The declaration comes at a time when the school is regaining its capacity to train pilots beyond their private license. This move is meant to reduce on-brain drain and movement of students looking for schools that can issue commercial licenses.
Pangai Aviation Academy Kajansi Flying School is to train personnel willing to attain commercial licenses in the aviation sector. This will be the second of its kind to issue licenses above private pilot licenses, complementing Soroti Flying School. This is aimed at lessening the number of students flying out of the country to access commercial training licenses. Soroti Flying School is currently challenged by a backlog of students.
Here in Uganda there is very few options for pilot training, which means that generally Ugandans with the abilities will go to South Africa, maybe Kenya, Europe or the USA for their training. So along with Soroti, the national school, Pangai Aviation Academy is pushing to bring professional level courses which will allow you to be an international commercial pilot flying airliners all around the world, hopefully one day with the national airline here in Uganda, Uganda Airways.
In order to promote competitiveness with pilots that train in international countries, National Council for Higher Education has to consider the aviation licenses as professional qualifications. Furthermore, SMEs should venture into manufacturing pilot training uniforms, maps, flight bags, which are currently imported by the Academy. This will promote local content.
A further possible avenue to discuss with government is the sharing of fiscal costs of aviation fuel used during training. This can take the form of waiving the tax on aviation fuel used during training in an easily trackable and accountable system monitored by government.
The revival of Uganda Airlines is a motivation enough to produce highly skilled and trained pilots and other flight attendants to meet the aviation demand.
Similarly, domestic traffic recorded a 41.9% growth from 18,824 to 26,711 passengers, while commercial aircraft movements registered a 10.4% growth from 29,327 in 2017 to 32,386 in 2018.
While in the next 20 years, airlines will have to add around the world 25,000 new aircraft, according to a study by IATA and Boeing. And this will entail a need for 350,000 pilots to fly them by 2026. Barely 7 years from now. Airlines across the globe are expanding their fleets and flight schedules to satisfy demand generated by global economic expansion. While over the next 20 years, Africa's demand for pilots will stand out of that 350,000 at 24,000.
Currently, 100 pilots are available for local jobs, and only one instructor is certified to train instructors in the country.
That should be a clear signal that something went wrong and needs to be fixed.
Mugabe Claude, in his early 30s, enjoys flying over.
Like a beast. That was just for fun. Yes.
He flies a Pilatus type of plane that floats 30,000 feet, about 9 kilometers high. His confidence while flying the Pilatus has been a huge investment of a kind in his life.
When I was in Soroti Flying School, that time we paid about $18,000 that time. At the moment, it's going until $30,000 to get... No, to finish the whole course, which takes about 2 years.
This is the reason why many forego joining the aviation sector, even though there are abundant opportunities.
The cost of training airplane pilots stands highest among the professional aviators at about $50,000 before they are airline worthy. The government has been meeting 15% as far back as 1993, and then eventually 50% training costs in training Ugandans at Soroti's Academy since 1993. This is 26 years ago.
He has flown some of the big people and has made several international flights. But what do pilots do about fatigue while in space?
That's all under rules and regulations that you have to make sure before your flight you're ready for it, you're prepared for it, and your body is okay, and you've had enough rest. Yeah. No medication. No.
At least 25 graduates are now captains after being awarded private pilot licenses from Kajansi Flying School. This is equivalent to a diploma.
The industry you chose to join requires high level of discipline, dedication, and commitment. I encourage you to continue pursuing professional and career growth and advancement, and above all, maintain excellency and integrity in your service.
Ivan Kahwa and Sandra Kahunde, UBC News.
Thank you, Ivan Kawa, for that insightful piece. Now, in other news, as their construction comes to completion and power generation sets in, the big question now remains who and how are the mega hydroelectricity dams going to be managed and maintained to run as intended, later on bring return on value to taxpayers' money spent by government to construct them. Government partners through the Power Generation Authority, UEGCL, has commenced asset management training and certification of their select staff with a motive of keeping maintenance costs low and hence achieve a low tariffs plan for the end user of the electricity.
Government through UEGCL and partners, Power Africa, have commenced training and certification of local UEGCL staff to make them capable of managing and putting freshly completed power stations to optimal use.
We have been building capacity of our staff. They've been undergoing training for the last 5 days in asset management, and this training will lead to their certification as asset management professionals and practitioners. Asset management is nothing else but optimizing your assets by balancing risk, cost, and performance over the whole life cycle of the assets.
Beginning with the certification of 15 staff of UEGCL, the generation company sees certification of local staff as another way to cut costs and reduce the tariffs for the end users.
The tariff is built up by costs from the generation plant, the cost of transmitting power, and the cost of distributing power. So if you are very efficient at the downstream, at the generation point, which is usually the highest component in the tariff, then the tariff is certainly going to come down through the improved operational efficiency.
According to the trainers sourced by a USAID's Power Africa project, there is confidence in the first certified staff to manage and maintain the assets.
Getting the certification, it shows that the employees of UEGCL will follow the international standards, and that really improves UEGCL's ability to meet these international standards around the world.
They were an excellent class. Ask the appropriate questions, ask a lot more in-depth questions again, so that it allowed me to feel that they were grasping the concepts and thinking about already how to apply them in their activities on a daily basis. So we got into a lot of detail, and they asked a lot of questions, and it really, again, made me think that they were really already starting to think about how they could put this into practice.
Built with recent technologies in dam construction, the $567.7 million Isimba Dam, for instance, is expected to generate power for at least 100 years. Without proper asset management, such a costly venture may never bear sufficient fruits for the industry.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Nabubi yazimba kumutyo muwanvu
Enkuba yatonya nabubi yakwa
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news tonight here on UBC TV. Now, in more news, Aivu Member of Parliament, who is also the member of the Parliamentary Committee on National Economy, Bernard Atiku, says that government has the potential to monitor labor mobility of Ugandans working in the Arab world. This comes at a time when the issue of labor export in Uganda is a sizzling issue, also viewed as modern-day slavery. Let's take a look.
Aivu County Member of Parliament Bernard Atiku has decried the ever-increasing cases of dehumanized acts against some Ugandans working in the United Arab Emirates. While interacting with members of the Association of Ugandans in the United Arab Emirates at the launch of their upcoming 3rd annual convention, Atiku says even with the securing of 80,000 job opportunities, some stakeholders are still shy to associate with the move.
Even our brothers who are already there, you should serve as an example to our people here. Before they think of risking their lives, there are certain minimum qualifications you must have, or minimum knowledge on the legal issues where you are going.
Atiku criticized external labor recruiting companies over sending a number of Ugandans to dehumanizing employers abroad.
Like reports have come, or confessions have come, that some of the companies that have been registered to recruit are actually the ones involved, or whose people who have gone through them are the ones who are suffering. So we are trying to see how the information can be dug out so that we find out why people's passports are withdrawn, why people are being auctioned.
The Chief Executive Officer, Diamond Rose Nachiwala Harriet, said the convention presents a platform for Ugandans to explore opportunities relating to work and trade.
Mini workshops, and these we have called them the business-to-business meetings. We are not going there to execute a sale, a one-off sale. We are going there to make sure that after the conversion, you're back to Uganda, you're still in touch with these people, and they have briefed you on how you're going to get your tomatoes, your pineapples, your matoke to them. So this way, we are growing people by all means to see that they are in capacity to export their products post the conversion.
The representative of the Association of Ugandans in the United Arab Emirates community, Kadir Mtajas, says the convention will build on what the first and second conventions started.
Call it a virgin land. Every business that you look at has market in the UAE. You can mention it: tourism, food, textile, communication, money transfer. All of these have a big market in the UAE. So it's a great opportunity, especially during the convention. Come and do exhibit your products. I am very sure you will not regret.
During the launch, different Ugandan traders explained why they have been slow on seizing opportunities to trade with the United Arab Emirates.
Trade strategies, and we rely on only foreign carriers, Emirates, Qatar, Ethiopia, Turkish, mention them to Dubai to do a ton. I need $1,200 to do a ton of people. But Kenya, someone they need like almost half of that. Instead of bringing us the providers, why do they bring us the cargo freighters?
Knowing that so many people have been going even in the Middle East, the numbers being given to us and the statistics, I believe it's justifiable to have a constituency added into the parliament to discuss issues that are diaspora connected, because in diaspora is not only remittances, but diaspora brings investments, diaspora contributes to exports.
Currently, UAE is rated #1 destination for Uganda's exports, and going by 2016-2017 U-Boss report, export values increased from $35 million in 2014 to $600 million in 2017. Dokas Kimono, UBCTV News.
Thank you, Dorcas. Now, in other news, survivors of sexual violence have launched their countrywide campaign of sensitizing school children about sexual violence. The non-government organization operating under the name TOTIA aims at engaging communities and using other social media platforms about the vice.
I was mainly injured psychologically.
Sexual violence is on increase despite enabling laws and policies aimed at preventing the vice. Uganda Police Force annual crime report confirms an increase in gender-based violence across the country.
When the perpetrator or the family or any connections to the perpetrator come and settle this case monetarily, mostly when the person is at a level of poverty.
This non-government organization platform operating under the trade name of TOTIA aims to providing victims and survivors an avenue through which they can offset their problems.
It happened to me when I was only 8 years old, and it happened with a very close family member. So when it happened to me, I couldn't tell anyone, I couldn't even share it with my sister, and yet we shared everything.
My experience was from home, down from home. Like, I lost my dad at a very early age. I was shifted to start living with my aunt, and this is where the sexual violence took place from. Like, I got the experience from. I was raped. I suffered incest rape by a brother. He raped me. He used me at 9.
Was mostly in schools and with male teachers who used to want to get close to me in the name of being friendly. But when I kept away from them, they made my life hard in school and in classes mostly.
The Chief Executive Officer TOTIA platform, Janet Aguti, says though many places are considered to be safe, there are some pockets prone to sexual violence and intimidation in a number of areas.
The people who take charge of these places have a power or authority level over the people that are supposed to be subjective to them. I'll give an example of sexual violence happening in schools. We expect schools to be a very safe place for our kids. That's why parents trust the teachers, kids are in boarding and so on. But you realize the teachers have authority over the kids.
Senoga Hassan, a victim of sexual violence, cautioned the youth to work hard as perpetrators use their financial energy to spoil young men.
But basically, even boys and men, they are being violated sexually. I myself am a live example. I had a situation where, because I'm total orphan, I have no mom, no dad. They came to me as a good Samaritan, and to me, I was like, please, can we use a condom? Lady was like, no, because you don't have money, you don't have to deny what I was using. Every day, use your part, use your tongue, and then after, you swallow.
The engagement brought together school-going youth, parents and other stakeholders in Mpigi district.
And then, if you are sexually harassed, visit the police station for help.
Tend to scare you that if you don't do such and such a thing, you are going to fail your paper, you won't pass. And in some cases, he or she may lead you to be expelled from the school.
Malo kutuka ku police, ebakugamba musoke mukolechi, mutese, nzate mbanjagala tukolechi, tweyongereyo. Naye olw'okuba embeera senanga onina kolachi. Aho Muganda nagamba tezifudde.
Between 2012 and 2017, about 5% of all sexual violence cases handled in a year by the Director of Public Prosecutions was closed due to lack of evidence. This allows perpetrators to commit such crimes with impunity. Abdul Nasili Lubwama reporting.
Thank you, Abdul Nasir Lubwama. Now, the upgrading of the Rukunjiri Chihihi Ishasha Kanungu Road, which is 78.5 kilometers connecting the western part of Uganda to the Democratic Republic of Congo, was launched in December last year. Now, the Uganda National Roads Authority engineer Michael Akankwasa says that work is in progress. We take a look.
We formed a team in association form
which we said we are the people on the ground, and we can use our local people to save the river Ruiz. So we have come up to team with the technical people such that we remove this hyacinth, which is growing at a high rate. And we have started today, and this work will be continuous using our local people.
There is a need to remove this water problem, this plant here. And second, this is the water we use. So any problem affecting this water will affect us also.
Together with other groups of people who have got interest in our mighty river, this is the river that contains all the life of our people in Mbarara and in the Ruiz region. And should it dry up, by this very water hyacinth, we are doomed to diminishing ends.
Nation, we are so much concerned about how this thing is endangering our lives, our water, the only source of river of Mbarara town and Mbarara district. Because this is the river that serves the whole of Mbarara. Since Mbarara is expanding, if we don't combine effort to save it, we are all dead.
Framework, which is called Catchment-Based Water Resources Management. It is a framework that emphasizes engaging stakeholders so that they are able to take charge of management of water resources. So it has been a lot of advocacy along the line. And our faith is to ensure that the stakeholders own the resource, they get to understand that it is their own, they understand the issues that they are faced with, and therefore they take lead in managing.
We beg your pardon, that was the community of Ankole sub-region trying to revive River Rizi, where 900 million shillings has been allocated for this purpose. Now, in other news, the upgrading of the Rukunjiri Chihihi Ishasha Kanungu Road, which is 78.5 kilometers connecting the western part of Uganda to the Democratic Republic of Congo, was launched in December last year. The Ugandan National Roads Authority engineer Michael Akankwansa says that work is in progress. Let's take a look.
As way of promoting business and transportation, government decided to upgrade the 78.5-kilometer Rukunjiri Kihihi Ishasha Kanungu Road. IONRA project manager, engineer Michael Akankwasa, says the project is going on well despite lack of necessary materials that are not available in the area.
It has to put tarmac right away, but that's not correct. We first have to do earthworks, build up the road, make a good alignment, and then we can put tarmac at the end. Then secondly, we are failing to find a good rock that can really do asphalt work. We have sourced around 15 areas, and out of those only 2 we are giving us good results after testing. And we are still trying to stabilize on those ones and see whether we can acquire them and then start on the quarry works, because they are going to delay our bridges, because we have 4 bridges to construct. We have a lot of culverts to construct. If we don't get the rock very fast, then we shall not finish in time. But we are progressing on that very well now.
Residents want UNRA to offer available jobs to residents as an incentive for them from the ongoing project.
twaja ngo ati tunga ituratunga abo twatwine kafene nkenshi nemiyembe nemicungwa n'icyo jogo turanguka cyo kugira muhanda yabiza kampara biza kongo byona byoje.
This project is expected to last 3 years. It is being funded by Government of Uganda with support from African Development Bank. I'm Nafka Farida and Gara Patrick.
Ekyama kya Busoga kikino nga ni Kagulu Rock nkola olusozi olw'Ekagulu mu igombolola ly'Ekagulu mu disitulikiti ey'Ebuyende. Ida tuninira olusozi olw'Ekagulu ni Pulezidenti wa Uganda Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ng'akyaziibwa Isaife ky'abazinga ba Busoga William Wilberforce Kadumbula Gabula Nalyopo Owookuna ne Sipiika wa Paalamenti Maama Rebecca Itwala Kadaga era ng'empiya bukalina bukalina obuteereyi bwawo obw'okuwangulibwa abonabonaabona nga banira olusozi luno baalutuuka ku ntwiko. Oyina kuba ng'osobola okubona Busoga okuva yava okutuuka yakanga olengera ebibira olengera ensozi eddindi agayanda n'omwiga Kiiro ogusinga obuwanvu mu nsi yonayona. Kagulu nkola olusozi lwa byafaayo ng'Omusoga eyasooka yava ebunolo wano niwe yatuukira oyitaabo n'empukumu yasulanga niwe yalimiranga ennimiro de nga bino byonna bya bwereere. Abantu okuva ebule n'ebweya bali kwekonda okuyida okubaawo okunina olusozi luno weenaba omu ku abo.
Bino byonna byakubaawo olwamu kagangena ku omwezi 17 omwezi ogw'omunaana omwaka 2019.
Empakedde okunina olusozi Kagulu dikutuusibwaku Minisitule y'ebyobulambuzi n'ebyeyira mu bwakyabazinga bwa Busoga kyateebwamu empiya.
President w'Iwanga, Uganda Tourism Board, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Sanctuary Hotels Kamuli, Big Fair, Madvan Group of Companies.
Hill water, purity, nothing less.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news tonight here on UBC TV. Now, in our business segment, farmers in Ruchiga district want government to help restore cooperatives and support them grow for the benefit of the local communities. They say that most of all the persons practicing agriculture and those in other income-generating village associations have a lot to benefit from the cooperatives. This was during a workshop organized by the Farmers Cluster Project, where farmers, political and civil workers in Ruchiga district were trained on the importances and benefits of farming in groups. The cluster project is operating in districts of Ntungamo, Bushenyi, Isinjiro, and Ruchiga, among others.
And if the government could put some changes in the regularization system, empower the cooperative groups and societies, I think the cooperatives would do better than what is happening today.
This project provides a subsidy program where a farmer is supposed to make a contribution and the government also makes a contribution. And this subsidy program is towards the cost of, towards the purchase of key agricultural inputs. And that is seed, fertilizer, agrochemicals, and post-harvest materials.
That now these farmers will receive trainings, they will receive subsidized inputs because they also contribute. They will also get market linkages. Also, the roads, the bad roads, the chokes, which prevent farmers from reaching.
Vocational education is more valuable and ought to be appreciated by all. Now, former Commissioner Education for Jill Monday says that vocational education is the way to go for any developing community. He was at the YMCA Institute in Wandege at Media Challenge organized by the Journalism Department. We take a look.
YMCA Institute Wandege journalism students have showcased what they have been studying in class to prove whether they are sufficiently equipped with communication skills.
Robert Asimwe, a Chambogo University student accused of killing the Supreme.
A retired commissioner, Minister of Education and Sports, now education consultant for Jill Monday, asked learners to appreciate their studies, especially the practical bit.
The thing is, we must be very careful that everything we say on the radio, in the newspapers, on the television, must be a changing word for the bringing about a new Africa. And therefore, I agree with her, we must maintain our character, because when you appear in the mass media, ladies and gentlemen, you are automatically a role model for most people. The earring you wear will be copied, the way you blink will be copied.
Uganda Journalist Association Vice President Namirembe Masirugemwa encouraged the learners to be disciplined and focused for acceptability.
You need to have connection, don't just see them. Don't let them go. A journalist must have a notebook, not just for cheerleading. No, you write their numbers. Be friends with them. Please visit them. Not because of other things, ladies, you know that. Because you need training from them. These are people who have made it in life And this is a competitive game. Very competitive. To make it in media, it depends on your talent. And if you don't showcase, no one will know that you are there.
The principal, YMCA, Dr. Herbert Mukasa, says they plan to introduce more vocational courses to equip the youth with practical skills.
If you're going to emulate those words, if you're going to keep up what you have been advised, I think the sky will be the limit. In the final process with the National Council for Education, and I think it's just a question of months that we shall be having a bachelor's in journalism and mass communication.
The media challenge was also addressed by a number of journalists, including Michael Balaba of Star TV, Solomon Kawesa, NTV, Becky Cynthia Nashimira, Bokede TV, among others.
Youngsters, it is quite important to request for celebrity not to be so popular, because we have seen today artists. But he's still a student.
And now on the international scene, the UK government has said that it is deeply concerned about Iran's unacceptable seizure of a British-flagged tanker in the Gulf. The Stena Imperal's owner said that they have been unable to contact the ship, which was seized in the Strait of Hormuz, a key waterway in the region. Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt was warned of serious consequences if the situation is not resolved quickly. Iran said that the ship was violating international maritime rules. A second British-owned Liberian-flagged tanker, the MV Mesdar, was also boarded by armed guards but was released. The Stena Imperal was seized on Friday by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, according to the semi-official Fars news agency. Stena Bulk, which owns the vessel, said that it was in full compliance with all navigation and international regulations, and was also approached while it was in international waters.
The long line hassle. With 1xBet, the power of placing the perfect bet is at your fingertips. Bet anytime from anywhere. Best of all, payment is instant. Place your bet on whatever you choose. Virtual games, bet games, sports, and even live betting. Winning has never been this simple. Bet with 1xBet. Advanced gaming is regulated by the Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board. Betting is addictive and can be psychologically harmful, and it's only eligible to persons above 18 years of age. Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
In sports, Uganda's national netball team, the She Cranes, are left to play for the positions 7 and 8 at the ongoing Netball World Cup in Liverpool, England. Now this follows a 55-44 loss to Malawi in the position 5 and 6 semi-final playoff. Details follow.
This game will play Jamaica for 5th position, while the loser will go through and face Zimbabwe for 7th and 8th.
The She Cranes are playing now at a second consecutive World Cup, had a chance to finish among the top teams when they faced Malawi in a position 5 and 6 semi-final
One side
playoff.
of the circle to the other, perfect sweep of the circle from Nanyonga.
The game didn't start as planned for the She Cranes that played catch-up from start to finish against a determined and resolute Malawi side that won 55-44.
Oh, good one to Galetti, and Stella Oyella is into
the team thus missed a golden opportunity to improve from 8th position in which they finished in 2015.
The accuracy is good to kick off this second half.
This left swollen faces amongst most Ugandan players, with the team captain Peace Proscovia hinting at external forces that failed them.
Well, there are lots of things that were beyond our control that we couldn't do. We did what was within our control. The things that are beyond our control, there's nothing we could do about it. But lessons learned moving forward, it's still a long time to go.
Uganda now waits to play Zimbabwe for position 7 and 8 in the final day of the World Cup. and Sunday. Ahead of the game, the team has been boosted by Ugandans in the UK with a minimal but critical cash inducement.
We had a small brief meeting with the Ugandans who are based in the UK. They came to pay a visit to us. We thought actually we were alone, and they had to give us a token, something like of appreciation. To me, it's like we are not alone, and all the players are very happy. That's all I have to say. I just told them, thank them for what they did for us. We are happy.
Dr. Fred Junju led the fundraising amongst the Ugandan community and its friends with a justification that the team has done Uganda proud.
Being the chairman, I support a number of activities, but when it comes to sports, the people in Liverpool, they really like to support or contribute something. As such, it was a very easy task for me to mobilize my people in Liverpool to come out in big numbers and support our team on a daily basis. And as we speak now, even tomorrow, our committee members, they have already bought tickets, they've already bought Ugandan shirts, t-shirts. They are ready to go on the ground and support and give encouragement to our ladies.
On closing day Sunday, various classification games are scheduled and will climax with the golden medal match in which reigning champions Australia play the winner between England and New Zealand. John Barnes, Senegal, reporting.
And now in more sports news, the third-minute Baghdad Boneja for Twitter's goal secured Algeria the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations trophy following victory over Senegal at the Cairo International Stadium in Egypt. This victory gave the Desert Foxes of Algeria only their second Africa Cup of Nations trophy to add to what they won 29 years ago. It was a great victory for Algerian coach Jamel Belmadi, who joined the list of local coaches that have won the trophy in its 60-plus years of history. It climaxed with Senegal winning the Fair Play Award. Nigeria's Odion Igalo was top scorer with 5 goals. Algerian Idris Mbohi best goalkeeper, while compatriot Ismail Banassa was the youngest player and also added the most valuable player gong.
الهدف الأول لمنتخب الجزائر يسجل اللاعب رقم 9 بغداد بولا.
Congratulations to the Algerian team. We hope that Uganda can take the cup next time. Now in other news, the 2019 Coronation Rugby Sevens tournament has grown in stature and numbers, with all the country's top teams now craving to be part of the action. In the action hosted at Legends Rugby Club, various teams including Cobs, Pirates and Heathens took part in the tournament, which is one of those sports activities lined up to precede the Kabaka of Buganda's coronation anniversary.
Tournament is sevens aside, as you see. It's one of the circuits for the sevens tournament organized by Uganda Rugby Union, and we selected this circuit that is organized by Rhino Rugby Club to be as a celebration for the coronation for the King of Uganda. We have 13 teams. Of course, we have improved from last year. Last year there were 12. We have 13 and 4 for ladies. We started this 3 years ago with the schools. Right now we've involved the clubs. So we want to see it to grow. We want to see it grow more and more, bigger and better. We would also like to see it introduced to the 15s aside with more clubs. Of course, we are looking at also mobilizing more cash prize as a way of motivating the athletes playing the game. So today we are here as one of the celebrations for the coronation. As you can see, a lot of people are still coming in, here to enjoy and celebrate together as rugby fraternity.
It's always a great pleasure having you watch UBC tonight. However, let's take a look at tonight's top stories before we let you go. The aviation sector says it needs support. Mbarara LCs restoring River Rizi. And the UK warns Iran over its seized oil tanker. On the sports scene, the Sheik reigns to play Zimbabwe for position 7 or 8. Once again, it's always a great pleasure having you watching UBC News tonight. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, and we had Elizabeth Nakakuni on sign language. From the team and us, it's good night.